What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be continuing my review or picking it back up of The Walking Dead Season 9 review for the season. This just started back up today after the mid-season finale slash break. And yeah, honestly, I was looking forward to this. This season so far has been the best season in a honestly, this is probably the best season of the whole show. Um, all the seasons are good. 8 was and didn't really like it when it was airing. I liked it, but at the same time I kind of thought it fell short of it being the war and everything, but I still really liked it. But I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more when I binge watched all of it through on Netflix. But season 9 is it is reinventing the show. They did that time jump. It's even further, but this episode it picks right back up where the last episode ended. Literally in the same exact location, same exact thing. Jesus just died. They're in the cemetery. The Whisperers and Walkers are coming towards them. They don't know which is which, but they're learning. And with them leaving, I like the fact that of how they, they are taking Jesus's body, so that is dead weight. But they're not going to leave him behind. And then Eugene's also hurt, so that puts a little bit of, slowing them down, trying to get away from these people. And, them not knowing which is which. They might go in for a head kill, up close with a walker, and it could be a whisper. That's what happened to Jesus. And that right there keeps you on the edge. That's what this show really needed, to bring walkers back to being feared. Because honestly, they had gotten accustomed to killing zombies, and even I know that, and it's about the people, and it's still about the people, but this brings it back into the light of, you know, walkers should be feared. You're never safe, and this just shows that, you don't know which is which, and you can't risk, it's all going to have to be them trying to get used to a new way of killing walkers instead of just hand to hand. They're gonna have to do, long distance if they want to kill the Whispers. So very excited to see this. I love the way that they had the whole, them going back and then they see a herd and they set up a little trap on the bridge. That whole scene was great. I love the fact that they, figured out how to trap them and the way that they shot it and everything. I loved it. It was very intense. You knew that nothing bad was going to happen to them, but it made you very curious on if you could, like, I noticed I was looking at each individual walker and seeing if I could tell with like just like a mishap of how they're walking if it's a whisper, and you could tell that Daryl was looking at the same thing. um, of course he just had to shoot them in the leg and noticed. But yeah, really great scene. This episode, had a lot of really good scenes, especially with them on the road. Then they get back to the hilltop and they have captured one of them, who turns out is Lydia. Lydia is Alpha, who's the leader of the Whisperers' daughter. Now, in the comics, Carl and Lydia have a relationship, and they tried to broker peace and everything, and it doesn't work. But their relationship, they are dating and stuff like that. Well, Carl's not on the show, so it looks like what they're probably going to do is kind of take that storyline of Carl and give it to Henry, um, which I'm a little lenient about, worried about, because Henry hasn't quite. I mean, he's a decent character, but he hasn't come into that strong role that Carl would have been at in this point in time, or just where he was when he died. But see, I've been worried about ever since they killed Carl. I was like, okay, how are they going to do the Lydia and relationship and Whisper type storyline? Now that Rick's gone, I'm even more so worried. But it seems like how they're gonna do it is like what they did with Andrea. They're from like she's still alive in the comics, but how they did it, they took hers character as traits and stuff like that and divided up between um, Michonne, Carol, and Maggie. and divided all that up. So it seems like with Carl gone, they're going to divide it up to Henry, possibly Daryl, and Judith. So, you have all of that. The scene where Daryl and Michonne and Tara all, you know, interrogating Lydia. I really did like that scene. I thought it was enough tension, but at the same time, you just knew something was off, just like they did. And I really liked the fact of how Daryl was standing outside the cage and just like watching everything and like inspecting what triggers her, all her like body motion. Like, he's analyzing it because he knows he's gonna be the interrogator for her. So I really did like that. I liked, seeing him and Michonne having some time to spend together, and, you got a little sense of, like, somewhat of what happened. Like, they made a bad choice with someone, having to deal with why they don't trust people, why they, aren't with each other or with the groups and stuff like that. They're kind of hinting at that. They're yet to fully explain all that and the scars, but I know that's coming. So yeah, that's really all of Michonne and Daryl and all of them. But then you have the other storyline that's going on at the same time with Judith and Negan. Negan escaped because the jail cell didn't lock up after Gabriel left, but Judith catches him leaving, and she points the gun at him, and like they have a nice little conversation and banter, and she says, there's nothing out there, but if I see you again, I'm going to shoot you. Then he goes on this long, like, kind of journey back to Sanctuary, going home. And you can tell that he's trying to find a Lucille placeholder. So you have the shovel, and then you have, he has the pipe, which I really liked. And I liked the scene where he's sitting down, he's eating, and then he sees this first walker in 6 years. No, it would be 7.5 years, actually, because he's been in jail cell even when they jumped a year and a half, and then on top of the 6 years that they jumped, yeah, it would be 7.5 years. He hasn't seen a walker, so he runs into that, and he kind of, like, one catches him off guard, and then he goes, and his food is out, and he has to go get water, and a lot of people might not notice this, but when he is throwing up from the water, the place where he's on his knees, that is the same exact place that, he killed Glenn and Abraham. And what I started thinking about was, and I really like this, whether or not that's what they were going for, is, they basically, it seemed like maybe he was tracing his steps to where it all went wrong for him. And I really did get that sense, and like, he's ashamed of it. I don't know if that's possible with his character. If 7.5 years in a jail cell, has made him reflect and like, I should have, not started off by killing people and stuff like that. So of course he went back to where it all started. So maybe that's what they were going for. And then he goes and gets a new leather jacket and gets chased off by dogs, and that whole scene is like fun. It's very Negan-ish, and you think, the whole time you're like, okay, he's coming back to how he was. He didn't change, nothing changed. Even though that's after the whole Glenn and Abraham's location scene. It's like, okay, I know I'm just going through the show, but this is how I'm going to review this episode, because it's the best way for me to talk about everything. So then he goes to Sanctuary, and it's like, okay. And he gets home, and it's not what he was expecting. You could see the disappointment. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is great as Negan, by the way, because he really plays it, and like you could see the disappointment in his face. And he ends up realizing that this isn't for him, so he goes back to Alexandria. And of course Judith is the one that greets him on the road, because they're out searching for him, and she shoots at him and makes him wreck his bike. And just the moment that they shared between them was great. They both have a really good relationship, chemistry, all of that. It's just, I love it when they're both, on screen and seeing their relationship build. Because in the comics, that's what Carl does. Carl has a relationship with Negan, and he's the one that gets Rick to let him out the jail cell and become a part of the community because he's rehabilitated and everything. And I have a feeling that's what Judith is going to be doing. And you can see it, evolving, and I like that aspect of it. So then we get to the very end of, you get another scene where Daryl comes in and starts interrogating Lydia, and Henry starts, to interfere and like tell him to back off and stuff like that. It's just a girl. And right then, like, I wish it would have been a little bit less obvious, but like right then I knew exactly what Daryl's plan was to make Henry want to look out for her and use him to get close to her, and he just sits outside and listen. And that's of course what his plan is. I wish it was a little less obvious because I knew it from the get go, but yeah, that's my only fault. But even that, I mean, it's not really a fault. And then you had like Luke and Enid's, I don't remember his name, Dan Fogel's character Luke, and Enid's whole boyfriend, boy toy, whatever you want to call them. She said that they don't have a name for it, it's new, so whatever you want to call that is out, and they're following the trail of arrows. And of course, and I knew it was going to be a trap with the Whispers. I was like, because you didn't see her, like shoot the arrows or nothing. She didn't even know that they went out until they got back. So of course that was obvious, and it led them right to Alpha. And Alpha pulls out a double barrel shot-off shotgun, and that's the introduction to Alpha. That is Lydia's mom. That's the leader of the Whispers and everything. Yeah, she is insane. I really do like that whole scene of like the walkers just standing still and like the camera pans around. I really did like that scene. Greg Nicotero did a great job of directing this, episode. You could tell that he was like paying tribute to a lot of horror things, old horror movies and stuff like that. Really enjoyed this episode. Really can't wait to see where this goes, especially because if I'm not mistaken, Beta is going to be showing up in next episode, because you have Alpha, then you have Beta. Beta is played by Ryan Hurst, who plays Opie in Sons of Anarchy, or he did play Opie in Sons of Anarchy, and honestly, that's who I've been looking forward to showing up. So yeah, next week's episode is going to be insane. I can't wait to see where they take everything. Especially can't wait to see Daryl's storyline, because I knew with Andrew leaving the show and them getting rid of Rick, I knew that Daryl was going to become a more, plot-oriented leader type deal. And we're really going to start to see that happening. And I can't wait, because Daryl has been my favorite character for the longest time. And, throughout the seasons, like, as they were getting more into the communities and stuff, he's always been, like, kind of the same character and very one note. But at the same time, still really good. But, he's just your typical, he didn't really have a lot of character development or, change. But now it's, like, all coming at once, and I can't wait. But yeah, I'm going to give Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 9, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I love this episode. I thought that everything was great and that there wasn't really a dull moment. I was hooked. Great way to restart back up this season after the break. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Did you like it? Did you not? Are you still not interested in The Walking Dead? If y'all aren't, then when did you fall off? Did you fall off in season 6, 7, 8? I know a lot of people fell off in season 7 and 8 because they didn't really like Negan and the way that he is. But yeah, Negan's easily the best villain that we've had, and now you have the Whispers, which is just fucking insane. Them being like Leatherface type deal. I love it. I really do. I love the whole concept behind the Whispers, and ever since I heard about them in the comic books and read up on the whole storyline with them and stuff like that, I've been waiting for that. It was first I heard about Negan, then I heard about the Whispers, and it's like, oh shit, I can't wait for both of those. And then we got both of them. Now we're getting both of them, and it's like, well, here we go. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this episode, and yeah, You excited for what's to come? How do you think it's going to wrap up? Um, are you excited for Rick's movies? I know that's going to happen. I don't know when, but I know it's going to happen. Also, are you excited for Game of Thrones? Since I mentioned Game of Thrones, in April I'm going to be reviewing Game of Thrones season 8. So be on the lookout for that in April. You know, maybe I could do a podcast if y'all want, talking about all the other seasons and my thoughts about it. Maybe get some people on it to talk about and what we think the predictions are for season 8. Let me know if you'd like that idea down in the comments. And yeah, guys, in the description, I have links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages for the channel. You can click on over there for updates on personal life, things I'm working on, things I'm thinking about doing. I've been starting to live stream gameplay, and like I go live on Instagram to talk to you guys and like do reactions to movies and stuff like that. So that's the fun time. You can follow me over there and get notified when I go live and stuff like that. Also, like I post and notify y'all when I upload and go live on YouTube playing. Like lately, I've been playing Resident Evil 2 remake. And this coming up week on Friday, I'm going to be playing the new Far Cry game with some friends, or a friend because it's only co-op. But yeah, a lot of good content to come. Really excited to hope and see how y'all respond, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. But yeah, guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help me out and shows me that y'all like it. Also, share it with all your friends, family, others that you know, and people that you don't know. And hit that subscribe button for more awesome content like this and the little bell icon to be notified. And I hope to see you back next Sunday for The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 10 review. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.